Treatment of consumable items such as sports materials, stationery items, medicines, etc. Okay, so before in the previous topic we saw how to treat the subscription when it is being received. Okay, so the second topic in that is treatment of consumable items such as sports materials, stationery items, medicines. Okay, so now if these kind of materials or any kind of items like this are given, in that case we need to follow this particular formula. Okay, that is before even that, these consumable items, that is whatever we buy, okay, will appear in the debit side of the income and expenditure account. And how to calculate this particular items value is consumption is equal to opening stock plus purchases made during the year minus closing stock. Okay, so this is the formula for calculating how much is being used for that particular year. Okay, after that, as always, we have to enter the closing stock of that particular account, that is it can be sports material or stationery or medicines. Okay, if we have the closing stock of these of any of these items, then in that case that should appear in the assets side of the balance sheet. Okay, and also if there is any sale of old materials, in that case that should be shown on the credit side of the income and expenditure account, or it can be subtracted from the respective items consumed. Okay, it can be done in any either of these way. That is, one thing is, when any sale is being made, any sale of old sports material is being made, we can either write it in the credit side of income and expenditure account, or we can show it, or we can subtract it from the respective items. Okay, so if in case if you have say sale of old sports materials, then we can reduce this sale of old sports material from the consumption of sports materials. Okay, so here we'll see the illustration 13. How will the following items appear in the final accounts of a sports club? Okay, so this is how your sum will appear. Here you have stock of sports materials 1/4/2018. So always look into the dates. Okay, so this is your opening date since this is 2018. And here also you have stock of sports materials wherein this ends on 2019. Okay, so this is your opening balance, this is your closing balance. Sports materials purchased during the current year, this is your purchases. Sale of all sports materials during current year, so this is your sale of all sports materials. Now, as we saw in this formula, we have to prepare the income and expenditure. Here it is given as final account, so we have to prepare both income and expenditure account and also the balance sheet. In the income and expenditure account, you will write in the debit side as to sports materials consumed. Okay, the same format, that is income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 2019. In the expenditure side, you will write to sports materials consumed. In that, write the opening stock amount, which is given as 3000, and we have to add purchases less the closing stock amount of 4000. That's what the formula says, right? When we have to find the consumption, opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock will give the consumption. So now you are writing opening stock 3000, add purchases in the current year 9000, so you get rupees 12000, less closing stock 4000, so it comes to, the consumption comes to 8000 rupees. Okay, now this closing stock of sports material should be taken to the balance sheet assets side. So you will take this amount of 4000 alone to the balance sheet asset side. Stock of sports materials rupees 4000, this is your closing stock. Okay, Also we have some other account, sale of old sports materials during the current year of 500. Either this can be shown in the credit side of your income and expenditure account as buy sale of old sports materials rupees 500, or it can be even subtracted from this value. Okay, but always it is better to show in the income side. So follow this. Okay.